Welcome back to Slightly Sideways, talking with Jamie Oldfield. And Jamie, you've done so many miles in 30 years of racing, I'm assuming, mate. The road trips must be, a very fond memory for you. Home, Eastern States, USA, all that kind of stuff. What's some of the things that you might remember?
There's plenty.
Putting you on the spot, by the way. It's hard.
That's the fun part.
Yep.
The road trips. We've done that many trips over east, done that many trips up north, down south. Every one of them is different, but there's so many that you remember for different reasons. There's some cool people that you do road trips with, and a lot of the time it's different people that you're doing road trips with. I've had some we've gone over east just for 2 or 3 days at a time, come back and you think, wow.
So you've actually left here, gone to the Eastern States and back.
Yeah,
3 days.
And in a few days. So to go, it was 2017. The national title was in Warrnambool for the late models, and I said to Ash and Conley, the two guys helping me, let's go to Warrnambool. Oh yeah, good idea. When are we going? Well, next week. There's a local race on. We'll go and do that and learn, get some stats and stuff like that. So let's just go. When are we going? Thursday. So off we go. Thursday night we head over and race Saturday night, turn around, come home, back Monday. And the fact that you're going all the way over there just to learn,
get a bit of data or something.
One, it's a bonus for us to go racing, but the fact that you're on the road with two really good mates, having a great time. After work on a Thursday, off you go, and you have a couple of beers along the way.
Just a couple.
Well, that time we did.
Discipline.
It was a couple just on the way, and it was really good. But by the time you get there, it's minus 154 or whatever it is in Warrnambool, because it is Antarctica. I'm telling you, it's Antarctica. The wind is freezing cold. I don't think I've ever been to a speedway so cold, but it was still worth going.
Worse than Calamari.
Way worse than Calamari. And it's bad, but it was good. And the road trip coming home, we you leave on. I think we raced the Saturday night. We stayed in a motel Saturday night, and then it was first thing Sunday morning. We're on the road to come home because we need to be at work. So we've had the Monday off, but we need to be at work Tuesday. So it's literally you go there and race and come home, and then you come home. We get there. I think it's Port Augusta. We've got a bucket of chicken and carton of beer and whatever else, and
the necessities.
The bare necessities. That's exactly right. Who needs water and healthy food when you got beer and chicken? So
there's a song about that.
So we you get in the middle of Nullarbor on the way home, and there's this massive, great thunderstorm, and you can see it from the whole way around you coming for. It felt like forever.
Yeah.
Well, why not just pull up? So we pull up and had some chicken and a beer on the side of the road, and it was awesome. Awesome. It's memories that you can't make just going on a family holiday. It's a different kind of memory, and it's a different experience. And I remember, I think it was the first time that I crossed the Nullarbor was with my best mate at the time, Toby. He was racing the speed car, and we were just going to Adelaide. We got to Hines Hill. We've gone into a pub, and there's two people in there, and they judged us like you would believe.
I imagine you two walking in, probably like scruffy, dirty.
It was two young guys after, I think it was either a Sunday night or a Monday night or something. Anyway, we had plenty of time to get to Adelaide. So we've gone into this pub, and I think it was one person on either side of the bar, basically, one person serving and one person drinking. And they just looked at us like, what do you want, sort of thing, a pub and two houses in the whole town, sort of thing, and they've hit us up, and I need a car, and he needs a car, and off we went on our way. And by the time we got to Port Augusta, we weren't in the greatest of shapes.
Yeah.
We stopped at where we stopped was a fireworks shop, and we thought we'll stay here tonight, and woke up in the morning and spent a couple of hours sitting there, waiting for the fireworks shop to open, and do some shopping, before we get to Adelaide, obviously. Yeah, it was a public holiday. The shop didn't open that day. Weren't the brightest. It was, but it was cool, and when we come home, we on the way home, and we set some fireworks off in the middle of nowhere on the way home, and it's pitch black out there. Probably not responsible, but you got to do these things when you're young and have a bit of fun. And it was really good. And we come across. I remember we come across the border and we had speed car used to sit up on top of ramps, and underneath the ramps was a nice, perfect cardboard box that was just chockers full of fireworks to bring home. But, it's just road trips like that have burned into your brain.
Yeah.
You remember that stuff, and it is cool. That's what's exciting about our sport. There's so many aspects of it. You can race at home locally, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But to go away and it feels like a holiday. And I don't know whether it's more exciting because you're on a road trip, or is it just as exciting because you're away from work?
Yeah.
With us being at work all the time, it is good to get away, but to have fun when you get away, it's cool.
That's good. So, some of the local stuff too, like Shark Bay is always a good weekend to get away. And you raced the Dado up there once.
Dado? Yeah, we've had the Dado up there.
Again, the information that I get, plead innocent of all charges, and I'll get thrown under the bus.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you the names of people. It's okay. I know who it is. But we bought a Dado of Danny Plekas. It was Linda's old car, and it sat in the shed for years. And we took it to Shark Bay, and they do it like a street parade there. And I think just about every single person that was there laughed at the car and whatever else. And we had no expectations. We knew it was okay, but when we got it, it was it had been sitting for years. So brakes didn't work, clutch didn't work, nothing worked. So we just got ourselves usable and licensed it up and took it up there for a bit of fun, basically. And everyone laughed until they got on the track and seen that it actually went. And
had some poke that thing when it was going.
Oh, it was
good too.
The fact that it sounded so good, like it just scream and just sit on 9,000 RPM and you just feed it to it, and it loved every bit of it.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to drive. These days I'd struggle with it, a little bit too unfit. Like it's a young man's car where you got to actually wheel the thing. But no, it was really good. I think we were terrible in the heats. We had a DNF or a couple of DNFs on just from dumb stuff breaking because it was sitting around, And then feature time we roll out, and I think we got it to the front of the feature, and all of a sudden the accelerator cable broke, and that was the end of it. But the fact that we went up there and had a really good time, a really good weekend, and we had, I think it was Colin Peden and Brendan Neal and Nigel. They took it up there for us the day before because we were working.
Yeah.
We just hightailed it at night time. Last thing up there, and the last ones to get there, and the first ones to go, and, the normal story. But it was really cool. And they're the trips that you made just as many memories. And just season gone, myself and Big Ash went to Newman just for a weekend, and they had a 2-day show on there. So sure enough, we rolled in there on the Friday night, or Thursday night we left or something. And then straight after racing, we turn around and drive home, and that's part of it. The road trips are awesome. There's so many of them, and there's one year, I think it's 2005, 2006, somewhere around there, where we had the truck with the street stocks, and we were heavily into our XFs and races as often as we could. We'd done 48 shows, I think it was, in a year, and that's sort of unheard of. But you think 3 brothers travelling everywhere together, and man, we could drink some beers after. It was cool.
So your checklist is beer, butter chicken, and a playlist. They get you there and back?
Yeah, Ash has got the playlist sorted these days with his USB stick with 5,000 songs on it. With is it Rip Wood Chip and
John Williamson?
There's all sorts of shit. Some of the stuff you go, Ash, where did you find this? But no, it's cool. Some of it's cool. But we were lucky for a while. We were sponsored by I think it was Ginger's Roadhouse, and as soon as we left, they'd fill the truck up for us and give us a carton of Red Bull. And tell you what, we'd go anywhere.
You just keep driving. I'm not stopping. I'm buzzing.
Oh yeah. But no, it was good doing that stuff. And these days, it's all, it's still good to do it. Can't do it anywhere as often as what we did. Obviously, you grow up and you've got things that you have to get done, and life changes. But I wish we could do that every weekend. But you need to win a lotto or something, then we might be able to.
Do you find you get busier as you get older? The days go quicker and the weeks go quicker,
Yeah.
that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Not so much days and weeks. Days to me are slow.
Yep.
Because I just want to get into the shed work on race cars, so the days drag out. So
Oh, right, yeah, you just
come
go
on.
and finish work. And
sort of thing. But
so that's work, that's fun, even though it's similar sort of thing.
yeah, we're still working on cars, but it's not a race car. It's a race car. It's you just enjoy every minute of it, But the weeks blend into each other a lot when we're racing all the time. Especially when if you got a lot of work to do on the car, you go to the shed and you work on it. All of a sudden, Saturday, where did they go?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, your months go by, and all of a sudden it's next season. Or you think, wow, I'm another year older.
Yeah.
It's way too fast. Way too fast.
I got, people messaging me and stuff about, ask Jamie this, ask Jamie that. And a lot of it was funny, and a lot of things we can't bring up. But, and there was some standard sort of stuff that I thought, that's standard, but it's still nice to ask. It's like, who are your favourite competitors and, that kind of thing. What's your favourite race that you've won? Might not have to be a national title, by the way, or anything, but what's something that you go, oh man, I just loved racing there with those people?
The Brian Rose every year.
Yep.
Especially now. Like, to have the competition level that we have now at the Brian Rose, with guys coming from over east, on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
They come over and compete, once upon a time. I think it was when I first started racing the Brian Rose, there was like mid-20 cars.
Yep.
And now it's, I think the most we've had was about 66 turn up, but it's yearly at least 40 cars now.
Yep.
And to get a handful from over east every year, want to come over and be a part of it. It is by far the best race for me. I just love it.
Yep.
Obviously I've been successful in that race, which is a bonus to it.
Well, not really. You've only won 10.
Yeah.
Damn, man, seriously.
But that's a bonus to it. But the fact that how big the race is, and we hold that close to ourselves. That that was sort of my granddad and dad raced against Brian Rose himself, and it is pretty close to us. But the fact that it is our home track and we help build the event up.
Well, behind the scenes stuff too, which.
Absolutely, to start with, I remember, we started racing, and then all of a sudden, I remember myself and Warren sitting down at lunchtime at work, and we'd have a list of every single driver in the state, and he'd get half and I'd get half, and we'd sit and ring every single driver when you come to the Brian Roads, and convince them that they need to be there, and all of a sudden, we end up with, 60 cars on an event, and you go, wow, this is huge, and we're getting sponsorship dollars and stuff like that. And the event that it is now, people, if you're racing street stock in Australia and you don't know about the Brian Rose,
you're not racing street stock.
You got your head well and truly buried in the sand. And that's the event that everyone knows that they want to be at and have a go.
It's not just a blue ribbon event now, it's the place to come and go, I got to test myself. If I can win one,
for sure.
If you win a Brian Rose, it's like a national title over now.
100%. It's one of the toughest events you're ever going to win. You look at someone like Mick Cameron. He's tried for years and years and years, and finally last year he broke through. He's one of the best drivers that we've got in the state and has been for years. And he's finally just got a Brian Rose last year. And it just shows how tough the event is. So it is cool. That's probably one of the better events to be involved in, for sure.
Yeah. The Australian street stock title that you won at Elmwood, I stood on the outside, watched that night because I didn't want it to be anything to do with me. I actually just wanted to soak that in because I knew it was going to be a great event Elmwood put on. You started that weekend. A lot of people know that stuff, but you might be able to give us a little bit of insight. You started that weekend off pretty crappy.
Yeah, I did. It was a horrible weekend for me. Really. And it's more than just the racing. The amount of time that went into that weekend, a lot of people had no idea. It's the biggest event our club's ever had. Myself and Gemma worked tirelessly behind the scenes to get it going, along with the rest of the community. But that was that was sort of our project. the year before we'd had the state title, and part of the agreement for us to take it on was we're going to make that successful on condition that the money that we raise from that is paying for the national title. And you're talking a track that's never held a national title, never looked at holding a national title.
Yeah.
And we just made it our own project to make sure this happened, you know. And then a week out from the title, we get a letter from the Shire saying you can't run your lights, you're going to get a $50,000 fine.
Oh,
and
so the stress level would just...
You can just imagine what's going through our minds, and you know, all of a sudden at the same time I'm trying to build a brand new car to go racing for the title, and it was just next level. You know, our track curator quit, you know, 2 weeks prior to the event, and I've managed to convince my best mate at the time, Grady, that well, you and another mate, Travis, you got to help me out here, you know. So we've hired some machines and they've got on the equipment, and like it's just the whole weekend was it kind of just blended into itself. I was so busy the whole time. But I did try and separate myself once we got racing from everything else.
Yeah, that was
hard. It was extremely hard to do, but we managed to do it. And when we get to racing, I think it was the first race, I've gone out there and I won my heat, but I knew that the engine laid over, and I went, oh, this is not great. So anyway, I come in, check, I've blown the head gasket. So I had 2 great guys, the 2 King boys, Anthony and Timmy King, great friends of mine, 2 Ford mechanics, best mechanics I can ever have at a national title when I'm racing a Falcon, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they've changed the head gasket, got it going and go put water, and all of a sudden the water's running out the block. And it's a core plug. It wasn't, core plug, it popped out, and that's why it's blown the head gasket, or cooked it. Anyway, so we go put a core plug in it, go out there for the next race, and sure enough, 2 laps in, it's popped another core plug out for whatever reason. Anyway, we had a terrible run. 3rd race, I think I borrowed Warren's car just to get some points. So I started back in my heat, went out, got some points, and went to go. And I went back from there, I went to work, and I had an engine that was just a block with a crank sitting in it.
Yeah.
And it was for a customer. And but I had everything there to finish it. So all night, I did not sleep. I just went there and I built this engine, put it all together, and got in the car, and I worked all day and just trying to I've got to get this car going somehow. So I've done it all, put it back together. Anyway, we get there, and then we go out for our...
So this is the next day?
Yeah, it's the second day. We've got 1 heat to do, and then then starts the C, the B, and the A. And at the time, you had to be in the top 50, I think it was, in points to move on. I've gone out and I've blown a gearbox. A clutch, I thought it was. So we've Kings, again, Timmy, he had to go to work, so had Anthony, and then me and Anthony, we've changed it, pulled the gearbox out, changed the clutch. Anyway, put it all back together, and it still didn't go. I'm like, oh, wow. Back out, gearbox it was. So when it blown the gearbox, buggered the clutch up, so replaced the whole lot twice, essentially. Anyway, we got it going again, and then we've done the C main. I'm like, oh. Anyway, halfway through the C main, I said...
And you started...
17th.
Okay.
So because you had to be in the top 50, I was lucky that I got that heat win, and then I borrowed Warren's car just enough to get the points.
Wow, yeah, like really.
So we're in the C, and halfway through the C main, there's a red light, and the ambulance is out in the crowd, and didn't think much of it at the time. Anyway, come back in, and I won the C main, thankfully, and then I'm busting my butt, changing some tyres around and stuff, just making sure the car's right for the B main, and we go out, and someone had told me that it was my best mate Grady, who had been doing the track, who had a seizure and had been taken to the hospital. Anyway, it doesn't sound good, and didn't think much of it at the time. Anyway, we go racing and that, and then we run the B main, done the same thing, just moved some tyres around and stuff, and then had an awesome run in the A. Like it was.
So you won the C, 17th winner.
Yeah.
Back at the B, won the B.
Won the B. Me and Jason had a tussle in the B main for a few laps there, and yeah, that was pretty cool. And then we both made it through to the A. And then in the A, it was just from the start. I don't know why. I just thought go as hard as I can from the start. No,
Yep.
not holding back, just have a crack. And I did, and I think for a while there, it was a bit surreal myself.
Were you in a zone? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
I'm assuming there's some races where you would be like, I've got to manhandle the car, I'm fully aware what's going on. Were you in that part where you're like,
100%. I just knew, like, you got to hit your marks, and you got to concentrate on your marks. And I was every lap I'd hit my marks, and if I had a car to pass, I'd make sure I clear them and hit my marks again the next
very
corner.
important at Ellenbrook because of the way the track is built.
Yeah, 100%. And I made sure that I'd done everything that I could do, and then I think I had over a straight length lead at one point there, and then there was a yellow light.
Yep.
And when the yellow lights come on, I didn't think much of it at the time, but that was just the start of the worst part of the weekend ever. I'm telling you.
Take us through it.
I could not believe, like, you're driving in a race car, and the first thing I was doing, yellow lights, lift the visor, get some air and oxygen, just start breathing again. And all I could hear was just people yelling and chanting, and I was like, what the hell? I've never ever experienced anything like it.
It was loud.
And literally people calling your name, and you can hear it as clear as anything. I'm like, wow, this is insane. Like, and straight away I've had to put my visor down, try and concentrate on what I was doing. And then, sure enough, again, like I did with Jason at one point, I've slipped up, and I think it was three or four laps to go or something like that, and I slipped up, and Anthony Bear got the jump on me. I'd go well at the start, and he just slid in underneath me. And anyway, last lap he's gone down the back straight, and I'd almost conceded. Like
when he went underneath you, being in the crowd, you could actually hear everyone go, oh, that little bit of like, oh, hang on, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is not a fairy tale, and but it built the excitement. So you
I think I'd even sort of done it myself, like, oh, you idiot, what have you done, sort of thing. And we're level down the back straight, and I'm thinking, well, he's got the line, because I know if it's me, I'm going to lean on the car on the outside. It's the last lap of a national title.
Yep, just keep him out there.
And all I did was I just, I thought, well, I can't let him lean on me, so I actually backed out of it. And he's gone in, and he's hit the cushion and it biked. And in the meantime, I've switched back to the bottom, and
the crowd just erupted.
I could hear. And then I remember I've crossed the line. The lights are green. I've got the checkered flag, and then the lights come on yellow straight away after that. And the first thing was, don't
green white checkers.
No way. And one thing that I know is, between myself and my two brothers, we know that rule book inside out. We've read it a million times between us. And I pulled up at the start line, and I said, first thing I said, I remember it was Darren Crowe. I said, Darren, I crossed that checker flag and it was still green. And he goes, hang on, calm down. And sure enough, I was right. I'd crossed it, and before it had gone yellow, sort of thing, so we won it. But
what was that like then? Once you got the okay from the chief steward, we're all good. Instant relief?
Yeah. Just
emotion?
Excitement. Yeah, 100% emotions. Yeah. Like, that was just next level. Like the crowd, even as soon as I got the checkered flag and stuff.
They jumped over the barriers and climbed up the fence. And
it was nuts. Your home track with the biggest crowd that I've ever had, sort of thing, and the people yelling your name, and it's unheard of. It's not normal. And, but it was awesome, absolutely awesome, and it's a moment that I'll remember that for the rest of my life. And unfortunately, my mate Grady, that was the end of it. He didn't make it after that, which was sad. But the weekend was there's ups and downs in speedway, and it was awesome.
Amazing. Yeah. It's a hard luck story, then turned great to bad.
Yeah.
It's had all the emotions of the full weekend. So
absolutely.
One of those ones that you look back and go, wow, that was part of my life.
I think that week I've had more happen in that week than I've had in the rest of my life. Like, it's just nuts. Yeah. But it it was, it's memories. That's the memories that our sport makes.
Take 427, no microphone and broken camera. Phone. Things you do in the media. Going out tomorrow and buy another one. All right. Welcome back to Slightly Sideways. We're talking to, it's been called a few things. The Stig, the Gun, B-Field. Oh yeah, there's one. Let's talk about that one. Bunbury.
Yep.
I'm standing in the pit area and I hear Jamie Oldfield's in the ambulance.
Yeah.
No, what? Tell us a little bit about that people might not know.
Well, it's a lesson to be learned, I suppose. Which qualified, we were hot lapping on the infield. Done engine starts and
Run levels.
Yep, run a late model, done engine starts during the USA tour. And we put up on the infield as you do. The sprint cars, like we do engine starts, then the sprint cars are doing hot laps and we were doing hot laps. And I took my helmet off, stuff, put it on the deck, put it back on, no problem. Going a hot lap and I still remember it was in the middle of turn 3 and 4. I just felt like a sting in the back of my neck. Finish the race or the hot lap session, come back in the pits. And I got out of my car and I said to Gemma, I've been stung by something in the back of the neck, can you check? And sure enough, I've got a bee sting there. And Gemma probably wasn't aware of a bee sting. You can't squeeze it, you just got to flick it out or scrape it out, which is obviously very important for anyone that doesn't know that. You have to scrape a bee sting out instead of, squeeze all the venom into it.
Yeah, as soon as you grab it. Yep.
And Gemma's,
just probably
just grabbed it and pulled it out, which was, all innocent at the time. And I was lucky Brian Litchfield was standing next to us and he goes, are you allergic to bees? And I said, no, I've never had a problem. Like I've been stung by bees before and nothing's ever happened. Anyway, he goes, if you start feeling shit within 5 minutes, you need to go to the ambulance because when people are allergic, they do have a reaction. I know, okay, no worries. So anyway, in the meantime, I've just wandered over towards pit gate and the wingless were racing and I've wandered over there and just wanted to have a look at the track to see if it was changing or whatever. And I walked over and Rick Gilmore was down there and I said to him, the wingless, luckily, they'd had a crash in that corner and it was red light. And I said to Rick, do you think you could open the gate so I can go into the ambulance? And he said, what's up? I said, I've been stung by a bee. I said, I don't know if I'm going to have a reaction. And I said, but I don't feel great.
Right, yeah.
And he said, okay, no worries, I'll take you over there. And he radiated up, opened the gate and took me to the ambulance. And anyway, they said, do you want to lay down in the back? I said, no. I said, I don't feel 100%. I said, but if I could just sit here with you, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, before I know it, it was like another, probably, I'm going to say 30 seconds to a minute, I passed out and that was the end of it. Like I was literally out. It was quite different. I could hear everything that was going on around me.
Yeah.
I knew every single voice that was talking around me.
But you couldn't react?
No, I couldn't do a thing. I was unconscious the whole time.
Wow.
So, my body literally started to shut down. So, I wet myself and stuff. And it was I was actually shutting down. So, they'd taken the ambulance through the pit area out into the car park. And they couldn't take me to the hospital. They had to have another ambulance come and pick me up to take me to the hospital.
Yeah, right.
In the meantime, I could hear, Noah, Terry Dorrington, my two brothers, Gemma, everyone talking around me. Yeah. But I was actually 100% unconscious.
That must have really sort of freaked you out when you woke up again, even more so.
Well, I just thought, I'm okay because I can hear what's going on.
Yeah.
So it can't be too bad sort of thing.
Yeah.
But they couldn't give me the adrenaline until the ambulance came. So I was actually in a pretty bad way. All because of a bee sting that I didn't even realise that I was allergic to. And apparently it's the amount of venom that was in, they say the neck was the closest part to the respiratory system or something like that.
Closest,
so it shut me down pretty quick.
Wow.
But it was...
Well, how lucky that you actually thought, I'll go to the gate and get to the ambulance, because hearing some stories from you before and knowing you personally, you're the kind of guy who wouldn't do that.
No,
You'd be like, I'm not going to the ambulance. Don't worry about it.
And I was probably grateful that Brian Litchfield just straight up said to me, he goes, if you feel anything in 5 minutes, I'm telling you, you need to be at the end. So I went, well, that's a bit odd.
Sliding doors type thing.
So I thought, I just wanted down. And I didn't feel bad. I just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And I literally went down there and I tried everything. When I got to the hospital, they got me back out, away from whatever else. And I was the whole time. And once they give you the adrenaline, you have to stay there for 4 hours before they'll release
So
you.
you're starting to feel bad and you'll go, I want to go racing.
The whole time. Because they've injected the adrenaline.
God.
So I'm up and about.
Yeah.
Come on, I want to go.
Yeah.
I tried everything and I got to the speedway and the whole time I'm saying, I'm racing the feature. I'm starting the back of the feature. I'm racing. Yeah, Jerome would never have let
No,
me. So as soon as I get there, he's going to go, racing. But I rolled in the gate and they're doing the 4 wide. So I actually got to see the feature race, but I just missed the rest of the night.
But in true old fashion, you made a joke out of it. You painted the car.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's can't take life too serious. And if I wasn't going to take the piss out of myself, someone else is going to do it. So,
Yeah.
We did. The sign writer, we could just do black and white stripes up your car or something. I said, go for it, mate. Send me the stickers, and he did it, and we just,
Yeah, because I remember seeing like come out, it's like black and yellow with a B field. I'm like, okay, everything was going on, but
something a bit different, Yeah, as I say, can't take it too serious.
Now, today in DTN, I asked, just in a fun thing, hey, I'm going to interview Jamie. What's a good question? And I knew that would be bombarded with some stupid stuff.
Dumb stuff.
Yeah. But, that's what we're about, a bit of fun. So, a couple of questions on there. Veronica McCann asks, how many cheeses can you fit into your mouth?
I've got a big mouth, but I've never counted.
No? Because Gemma said, did you bring the cheesels today? And I was like, no, I forgot. I could have done
it. If you had brought it, we could have done it. I reckon ask Veronica how many she can do, and I reckon about half is what I can do.
I'll leave that to you. I'll leave that one. Dustin Higgs asks, does it hurt pissing excellence in the morning?
He should know. He goes, all right.
Yeah, he does go on. Yeah.
No, I'm not sure about that one.
Oh, dear. But all honesty, the Bear, there was a couple of really good ones, but the Bear Oldfield rivalry, not just between you, but your brothers as well.
Yeah.
What's your side of that? Because we see it as fans one way. You live it. How's that to you?
Probably, I'd say 10 years ago, it was pretty fierce.
Yeah.
We'd say hi to each other, and we'd race each other.
Yep.
And we'd race each other as hard as you could imagine. And, we wouldn't talk afterwards. Oh, excuse me. We'd go and race hard and good luck, in the start line or the title or whatever. You say good luck and that's it, and you just go, whatever sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best to be here this time sort of thing. And whereas now, I think we've probably both grown up and we get along. We talk between races, we can have a chat. Before the race meeting, we can have a chat. After the race meeting, we can have a chat. Motorplex, we've done that Month of Madness this year, and we come together on Friday night. And I thought I cleared him and moved up, and we tagged. And first thing, I got out of the car and apologised and said, "Look, man, I thought I cleared you. Sorry about that." And he's like, "Nah, it's all good. It's racing, like it's no big deal." Like,
because he knows you now.
We actually get along, and we're not going to intentionally, run each other in the fence or any shit like that.
Yeah.
But 10 years ago, we probably would have argued about that point. I think the fact is we've both grown up now.
Yeah.
And he's made me a better driver, and I'm sure he'd say the same that I've helped him, pick it up a bit. But to race someone that good and hard, as hard as what we can, and as often as I'd love to say, we could do it way more often. But obviously, I've run different.
Would it be a special though? Would it be a special if Barry does, or you go over there, he comes over here, and you run each other all the time? It becomes sort of a bit more normal, but we look forward to it when he comes over, and all the other guys too.
It's still going to be sort of a couple of times a year, but just the fact that I've missed some national titles and stuff like that because I've been racing other stuff and haven't been able to get to it. But it would have been cool to do it more often. no doubt about it. I'd love to be playing, but
I'm sure he says
that's
a good thing.
But he's obviously the best street stock driver we've ever had, and you just check his results. But to be able to be on a level with him and compete so fiercely against him for as often as we have, it's been pretty cool.
Yeah. What's some of the things that you've won a lot of trophies on blue ribbon events. Is there stuff that you want to achieve more of? Or something you haven't got quite done yet?
I have one national run on the side.
Yep.
I think it's 4 that I've led.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 seconds. I think one of the most disappointing things in my racing has been the fact that I led one for so long and I failed, not anything else.
Right, okay.
There's one at Manjimup where I think that I should have won that quite easily, and we were by far one of the fastest cars all weekend. We had a bit of damage in halfway through the feature of the lap car, but even with the damage, I was driving away from the rest of the field, and of all things, a battery cable had pulled out of the socket and let me down with 6 laps to go.
Yeah.
And I think, I've done everything I can.
Yeah.
But it's disappointing, but, Kingaroy, 2 laps to go, I've hit a rut the wrong way and made me run wide, and Darren Kane's beat me, and that taught me, it's not the car failing, it's not, the track was rough, but it's me, I hit the hole the wrong way, and, that's disappointing to me.
Harder to swallow than a broken part?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because I failed, and not only have I failed me, I failed my team.
Yeah.
And the fact that it probably sounds wrong saying the most disappointing part that I see is the fact that we run second national title, because that's an awesome result.
Which most people would be, but to Jamie Oldfield.
The fact that it was my mess up, I led it most of the race, so that kind of hurts. But I'd love nothing more than to finish off with a national title. That'd be cool.
Past, present, who would you really like to have races with? They can be older stars, and people that have passed away, but think, man, I just sort of love the races, man, because they were awesome and just fun.
It's probably hard because there's so many divisions that are racing against. But if I was to say, all the drivers in one division,
or you can pick different ones, you can say, I love this.
I'd love to see, Figs and Neville run the late model with me.
That would be cool.
How cool would that be? Figs is capable. I guarantee Neville's capable.
Yeah.
That would be awesome to run 2 of the best in midgets, and not only the best in midgets, 2 of the best guys in speedway.
Yeah.
To be able to run with them,
Yeah.
and you put a star-studded field together. Them 2, Darren Kane, guys like that. And I want to compete with them guys. In a late model.
In a late model,
yeah. Cool.
Or you
can put them in a street stuff, but I'd much. I like that. That'd be cool.
Any other divisions that there's not probably many left really, that you want to have a go at, or other types of motorsport maybe? That if you had the opportunity, you'd go, would I go black track racing or anything like that?
Not really. I enjoy what we do.
Yep.
We've grown up on dirt track racing, and it's cool. I have a little mini in my shed that I'm going to mess with sort of for later on, just to go and do some of the the casual racing, not so competitive, like the around the houses stuff, Northern and Albany and that kind of stuff. I've always loved my mini. That's what I ran in juniors, and I bought one a few years ago, and I'm a good mate's dragon, but he's got one as well. And we love to just go and do that and have a couple of races here and there. Yeah, just that kind of stuff. But it would be cool to do that. Nothing, super competitive.
Mm-hmm.
If I was, 15 years younger,
you'd be right.
I'd love to go. Well, maybe I would like to do something, a bit further in flight track, for example. Trucks or something like that. Just have a go and see how I went. But
do you watch other motorsports? Are you into NASCAR, Formula 1?
NASCAR a little bit, not as much now as what it was a few years ago. But NASCAR, V8 supercars I don't. don't know, it doesn't
Yeah.
get me excited. Formula One stuff, I've got no interest whatsoever. No.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch a game of football than Formula One.
Yeah, I agree.
Speedway is just, if it's around track, and NASCAR, at least they can't crash and stuff. But no, that's sort of what I like to do.
Who's the best competitor you've raced against ever in your mind? Doesn't have to win the most or whatever, just like, that's the best guy. I know I'm putting you on the spot,
It is.
but yeah, that's my job.
It'd have to be probably fixed, I think.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah, I would say so. And to be able to run side by side with him and one night actually beat him, that was
That's nice.
that was awesome. Yeah. But just the fact that, and it was more more than just competing with the guy. Like, I used to get along with him, when we raced the speaker, he was doing our engine and stuff like that, and he'd help us out. And
Nice.
yeah,
Hell of a nice.
absolutely. Yeah. So he was probably the best competitor that I've raced against, for sure. There's been other great ones. Darren Kane and Anthony Bear are awesome in what they do.
Absolutely.
But, things was next level.
Travel-wise, you've been to America a little bit. Would you like to go back with the opportunities?
100%.
Yeah.
We will go back. Last time I went, wasn't even last time I went, 2014 I think it was, when we bought our cars. We went over there and I got to race at Eldora, and that was awesome, absolutely awesome. And I think Jason or Ash or someone shared it on Facebook this week again, where ran a heat over there, and it's unbelievable. The track's so fast, and a lot of people don't realise that you're doing it 300 metres bigger than the motorplex at the same lap times.
Yeah.
It just explains how fast the track is. Yeah. Aerodynamics and tyres and everything's so much more important than what we deal with here on a weekly basis. So to run second in the heat there, and then I think I went backwards in the heat, but I ran 12, so it was pretty cool. But in the feature, I should say. But yeah, it was good, and we will go back. Ideally, we'd like to, between myself and Myron, just go and buy a car over there.
Yep.
And do the Summer National. That'd be cool. So in 2010, myself and Jem went over and worked for Jeep Van Wormer for the whole Summer Nationals tour.
That's amazing.
And Jem drank about 5,000 beers working out of the t-shirt trailer, and she gained a little bit of weight doing that.
You're on your own, yeah?
I love it.
Just so you know you're on your own.
She don't worry. She gained weight drinking beers, and I lost weight working me butt off working for Jeep, because he wrecked just about every second night. But no, it was cool. Like, that was probably one of the best holidays and experiences that we've had, going to America, and I'd love nothing more than to do that again. That'd be cool. Yeah.
We'll wrap it up a little bit, and it's hard because I could sit here and talk to you for hours, days, whatever, and there's so much to go across. But, what does, and it's a hard question, but what does Speedway mean to you?
Life. That is it. Like, this is what we do. And it's not just what we do, it's a lot of people that are the same. That is their life,
Yeah.
Like, I could just quite easily just start naming off people that's what they do. They go to work and they go to Speedway. And a lot of people go to work and then go to football.
Yeah.
But Speedway is our chosen sport, our hobby, our commitment. Myself and my whole family, that's all we do. The people that are involved in it, generally, the majority of them are involved for life.
Yeah. And
it's almost an addiction that you just can't get out of.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't want to get out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people, they come and they go, and you think, well, you're the one missing out in the end. Like, you see some people spit the dummy and they go, I'm not coming back next week. You're going to miss out, not me. I'm going to be here, and I'm going to race, and I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to have a beer with everyone in the bar afterwards, and it's great. But it is our life. That is all we do, and the social part of it, the competitiveness, everything. It is great.
You and Jamie?
No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
It's what could you change? What could you change to make a sport as good as it is now better?
Yeah, true.
I don't get it. People go, "Oh, I'd love to change this." Is it going to make it better? Try.
Yeah.
I'd love to make late models more popular than sprint cars. That'd be cool.
We'll work on that.
It's coming. We're working on that. But you know, there's the small things. That you could say, "Oh, in America we race for Eldora last week for the sprint cars was 350,000 or something for a weekend."
Yeah, Teachers Royals, and that'd be great.
But realistic, it's not going to happen here.
Yeah.
And you can hope that it could happen, but it's not going to happen. Not in our lifetime. But yeah, it's good hours.
All right.
Make it a full-time job.
Thanks, mate, for the chat. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Come on, Dirt Track Nutters, and
Yep.
Sharing a little bit of what it is. It's not easy to come on here and talk. People think, you just get on there and talk in front of a broken camera with no microphone.
25 takes.
Yeah, and all that
Two
stuff.
goes.
It's just, yeah, probably have to do another one.
No mind.
But it is what it is, and we have a bit of fun. And,
Yeah, it's good.
But we appreciate it, mate, and good luck for the coming season, because it's going to be good to see you back in the late model, having a run, and that's really what you should do.
You won't miss it this year. Right.
Look forward to
Right. League 51.
it. Cheers. Thanks, mate.
Thanks. Cheers for having us.